ようこそ皆さん。
何？お前はもう死んでいる。
That was cringe. That was so cringe.
Recently, if you're the type of person who frequents online spaces like Reddit, 4chan, and YouTube which discuss the subject of Japan, you'll probably come across a pretty alarming trend. What I'm referring to is the neo-Nazis who fetishize Japan, from the women to the culture and even the society at large. It's really fucking weird and super cringy, and I'm kind of sick of it. So this video is me basically refuting a lot of these alt-right Nazi talking points like Japan is an ethno-state, Japan is racist, and Japan is right-wing, because all those claims are demonstrably untrue. I'm so sick of these Nazis using Japan as their Trojan horse to push their garbage agenda. If you're a long-time viewer of my channel, you're probably wondering, hey Pixel, didn't you already make this video? I did, but I didn't really like that video. It was kind of a bit rushed. So I'm basically making a similar video. Don't worry, I'll be covering this from a different angle, so I won't be repeating myself that much. Anyway, moving on. Let's start dropping some logic bombs, my friend. I feel like in previous videos about Japan, I've given a little too much credence to the idea that Japan is actually what you would call an ethno-state. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit more read up now. First off, Japan's demographic statistics are solely taken by nationality. On top of that, if you are a Japanese citizen, even if you were born somewhere else or not ethnically Japanese, then you are marked as Japanese by the census. So there are potentially hundreds or thousands or even millions of people who are considered Japanese legally but not ethnically Japanese. Keep in mind that Koreans have lived in Japan since World War II, and also ethnic minorities such as the Inuit and the Ryukyu are considered Japanese despite being culturally and linguistically distinct from the Japanese Yamato people. And there is no recognition of mixed race people by the government census. Like, honestly, what the fuck is up with that? I know I'm like whitewashed and gaijin as fuck, but come on, seriously? Anyway, it's estimated about 2% of Japanese people have at least one non-Japanese parent. So in my case, someone who's born outside of Japan, from an economic and social perspective, the Japanese government doesn't even recognize me legally as a Japanese person. So, well, fuck me. Japan is nowhere near as homogenous as people think. Like, seriously, foreigners seriously underestimate how homogenous Japan really is. I mean, walk down Shibuya at night, it's Gaijin city, it's disgusting. Gaijins are like rats, you let one in the door and then 15 bald, pale manlets scurry in behind them. As good old Oji-chan once said, a good Gaijin is a dead Gaijin. Amazing! Anyway, back to the data. So the only people considered not Japanese by the census are either non-naturalized immigrants or other cases such as a large proportion of Koreans who are special permanent residents, not technically citizens. It's estimated about 15 to 10 million people in Japan are not considered full Yamato Japanese. Yamato as in the main ethnic group of Japan, which is enough to be about the size of a country like Sweden or Norway, as Japan has a huge population. So when Nazis try claim that these people are irrelevant or outright don't exist, it's pretty absurd, since the data shows that about still 1 in 20 people you could meet in Japan are not full Yamato. Now, I'm just looking at the facts here, and it says, despite only making up 13% of the population, white men commit 100% of the cringe. Says while dressing up as a samurai. So the biggest person right now I see perpetrating misinformation about Japan is YouTuber Blackpigeon Speaks. Blackpigeon Speaks is a Nazi. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one hang for a second. Anyway, Blackpigeon Speaks, self-proclaimed Tokyo expat. First of all, there's no such thing as an expat. There's only white immigrants, sex tourists, and Nazis in denial. Anyway, all his videos consist of bad faith arguments, whataboutisms, and cherry-picked information. He puts very obvious dog whistles in his content. For example, this thumbnail, where he dog whistles a popular 4chan saying, "For those who don't know, the Day of the Rope is a fictional day of racial purification in the Turner Diaries that Nazis hope will eventually happen in real life." When questioned by 3 Arrows about it in his amazing videos, Blackpigeon Speaks and the Politics of Pessimism, in his defense he resorted to saying, "Well, it's just a joke." I don't know about you, but for me, I don't think putting subtle dog whistles in your videos and alluding to a future race war is particularly that funny, especially in a time like now. But you know, that's just my politically correct, cultural Marxist something buzzword opinion, so you know, who fucking cares? He's made multiple videos covering Japan. They're all fetishistic trash with no substance. For this video where he tries to push the narrative and claim that Japan hates refugees, and his only source of evidence he uses is a fucking tweet. Now, over here in reality, let me just check the data. What do you know? Maybe don't use Twitter as a primary source for your arguments, you dumb cunt. Anyway, this video where he claims there is an international cabal of elites out there secretly emasculating Japanese and Asian men. Wait a second, this guy just said Jews. These people aren't even dog whistling anymore. That guy is just saying it.
A couple of years ago, there was a study published that came to the conclusion that, oh, shock, shock, that physically stronger men are more likely to have right-wing political views.
I love how Blackpigeon Speaks laughs about masculinity in his videos, but he looks like this. He looks like a human fucking potato. He is honestly the biggest Nazi cuck I have ever seen. If you still don't believe this guy is projecting his creepy Nazi bullshit on Japan, listen to this unhinged rant he had while filming a 100 yen Japanese coin.
Have you ever wondered why we can't have nice things? Have you ever wondered why? We've got this, beautiful little place here in Kyoto, Japan, and they have these little spirit houses, and there is a 100 yen coin, which is $1. It's $1, and it just sits there, and nobody tries to steal it. Just trying to bring myself back. Have you ever wondered why we can't have these nice societies? Ask yourself the reason why. Why is everything always tension? Why is everything always a problem? Why is everything never fucking peaceful? Because you can have it. You literally can have it. You can have it. You can have a little spirit house next to a river. There's some cars there. You can have everything. And you can even leave $1 coin and nobody's gonna fucking steal it because it's Buddha. It's why? Ask yourself why.
Jesus. Like what went through his head? Like what is he doing? He's just walking around, just filming people's shrines. He saw a coin and he just started yelling in the middle of the street. What a fucking manlet. What I hate about Blackpigeon Speaks videos the most isn't the racist shit or the anti-Semitic shit. It's the fact that they're just so boring. Like, honestly, if you want to make like white nationalist propaganda, at least make it fun to watch. I feel like I could make the same videos he makes, but so much better and so much more enjoyable. Anyway, I know some of you guys are a little bit more skeptical. You're probably thinking, well, it's probably just Blackpigeon Speaks who's a weird Nazi Japan simp. Like, I'm sure no one else is this weird. Trust me, Blackpigeon Speaks cancer and misinformation has spread to every corner of the internet, even my comment section. Let me read you a lovely comment I got on my Is Japan Just Conservative video. I am conservative American here, I absolutely love Japan, as it represents an escape from the awful American liberal. In Japan, people are so well behaved, there are no tattoos or body mutilations visible in society. Wealth disparity is low because there is less lobbying and government doesn't play favorites like in the US. That is not how wealth disparity works, champion. What are you talking about, mate? I could praise Japan all day and would gladly surrender my guns and live as a second-class Hakujin if it meant I could be protected from American liberals and Hispanics. Fortunately, few of these exist in my part of the country. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm actually gonna kill Japanese people are great and even better than conservative Italian American community I live in. I understand Japan isn't perfect. A lot of problems are because of Americans, Jews. A lot of problems are because of Americans, Jews, and Eurotrash trying to destroy the beautiful Japanese culture. Like how an American Jewish woman convinced Japan to give women political rights? What? Or the Gen X and Boomer Gaijins liberating the women there at the expense of Japanese men just to get some cheap Oriental pussy, which has created unnecessary animosity between Americans and Japanese that is only starting to go away with the millennial generation. What the fuck did I just read? Well, this person is a self-proclaimed American conservative, or should I say cuckservative. Got him! Ah! Owned! Got him, boys. But okay, anyway, let's be real. This guy's talking about Jews, Oriental pussy, body mutilations. If you don't know, body mutilation is the Nazi dog whistle for trans people. I feel pretty comfortable calling this guy a Nazi. I don't know. If not a straight up Nazi, definitely a far right ethno-nationalist, white nationalist type of degenerate human being. I understand this person really loves Japan, a little too much. But do you honestly think Japan and the Japanese people love this guy? That's a trick question. The answer is no. Back in World War II, I used to tell the Hakujins to fuck off. If they came on my land, I would scalp the fuck out of those pale-faced, round-eyed cunts. So basically what I'm saying with this video is that we need to secure an existence for our people and a future for Japanese children. I'm joking, I'm not a far-right little bitch. Anyway, embrace multiculturalism, globalism, baby! Japan has just become another easy scapegoat for these pricks to push their pathetic arguments. It's a cheap Ben Shapiro argument that people need to stop conceding to. Nazis and people on the far right will point to somewhere like Japan and say, well, if the sushi-loving yellow people can have their own homogenous ethno-state country, why can't we? It's a cheap whataboutism that I'm sick of hearing. There is no nuance to this argument. Japan by definition is not an ethno-state. An ethno-state is a sovereign state which citizenship is restricted to members of the same ethnic group. Basically, the government restricts things on the basis of ethnicity. Now, let's just look at Japan's criteria provided by the government to becoming a citizen. Oh, what do you know? It has nothing to do with ethnicity. It's as if Nazis fucking lie. Even if you're not ethnically Japanese, there is nothing in Japanese law stopping you from running for office or doing anything a naturalized Japanese citizen can do. The problem isn't just people on the right, okay? It's also people on the left who don't know anything about Japan and just concede these arguments to the Nazis. A prime example is Debate Bro, Voosh. Debate me, you fucking coward. Why are you running? Debate me, Vosh.
My reputation for misogyny is legendary.
People on the left are always far too willing to throw Asians and especially Japanese people under the bus, losing so much ground in debates about these subjects. Anyway, moving on. Another thing that I'm so sick of hearing is Japan's crime rate in relations to its homogeneity. The dipshit assertion that Japan has a low crime rate due to its homogeneity is completely unfounded. A country having a homogeneous ethnic makeup doesn't equal less crime. Japan having a low crime rate can be attributed to a variety of socio-economic factors. Japan's relatively low gulf between the rich and the poor, Japan's broken judicial system with its near 100% conviction rate, Japan being highly anti-gun. Let me remind you, all those things being significantly left-wing and not right-wing. What makes Japan so great in my opinion is its left-wing cultural, political and economic policies. The aspects where Japan's society and culture fall short are where the right-wing degeneracy has taken hold. Let me remind the chuds in the audience, Japan has had abortion on demand and national healthcare since the 1960s. The fucking 60s! America still doesn't have fucking healthcare! I'm not saying Japan is perfect. Don't take away from this video that Japan is some super gay space luxury communist perfect utopia. Okay, Japan has a shit ton of problems. Its economy took a big hit from COVID. Speaking of COVID, also, suck a dick, Shinzo, bye bye. Japan has a super incel problem with its hikikomoris. Japan has a massive stalking problem. Japan has a terrible work culture. Death by overwork is so common in Japan, they've literally came up with a word for it. It's called karoshi. Japan has issues with xenophobia. Just look at how some Zaichi Koreans and indigenous groups are treated by groups like Zaito Kukai. For those who don't know what the Zaito Kukai are, they're literally Japanese fascists. The Zaito Kukai are so cringe. They're anti-GAIJIN, but specifically anti-Korean and Chinese GAIJIN. What about the white GAIJINs? Can you guys at least be consistent? It's as if fascism is an incoherent ideology and it never fucking works. It's as if. While Japan is definitely nowhere near a homophobic country, I mean, the Japanese do love their BL, yaoi and yuri, but they still haven't got around to legalizing gay marriage? What's up with that? Japan has the existential threat of its impending massive aging population, which, let me add, the Japanese government is currently turning to more immigration to help add new blood to the dying workforce. I'm trying to point out the factual irony that people from Western countries who LARP on Twitter and Reddit saying shit like, oh, Japan is so red-pilled, based and right-wing, are wrong. They probably live in far more radically right-wing countries like America. These people are factually incorrect. These cringy white weeaboos don't know shit about Japan. All these pathetic Nazi LARPers who run their mouth about Japan, saying it's an ethno-state and simping for it every day, are full of shit. I guarantee all these Japan simps have never even fucking been to Japan. A lot of dipshit Hakujins who have never been to Japan project their reductive orientalist bullshit onto a whole goddamn country, cause their racist brains can't think of another people as anything more than a monolith that can be fetishized. I've said this in previous videos and I'll say it here again. Japan's politics and economics being incoherently characterized as right-wing, conservative, nationalist is fundamentally wrong. Japan is politically closer to Western European styles of egalitarian liberalism with a Confucian flavor. Placing a higher value on social harmony, it's a passive, obedient, collectivist society where the group matters more than the individual. The state has more power than voluntary associations or private individuals do. On top of that, it shares more culturally with Scandinavian countries than a shithole country like the United States of America. Japan having a highly ethno-relativist society and culture over a ethnocentric one. Don't listen to beta males like Blackpigeon Speaks who say otherwise. These people are liars. Nazis lie. They're just a bunch of racist idiots benefiting from their white privilege and taking advantage of Japanese hospitality.
To end this video, let me just say to Blackpigeon Speaks and all the other Nazi Japan simps out there, I feel like I speak on behalf of Japan and every normal person living there when I say Get the fuck out of my country.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
Hello, anyway, like and subscribe. Welcome to the end of the video. Like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because YouTube hates telling people I made videos. I'm on Twitter at pixel_hipster. I have a Patreon, so if you want to head over there and give me $2 or more, you get access to secret behind the scenes, secret podcasts, secret videos, all that good shit. Special thanks to Barely Contained, my $10 a month Patreon. Anyway, and also if you are at a certain tier at my Patreon, you get to ask a question. Alright, and Adam McCavier asks, what empty political gesture have you found the most obnoxious in the last year? Fucking corporatized wokeness. I hate that, where like companies virtue signal how like woke they are, even though they're like exploiting like 10-year-old fucking slave labor kids in like Cambodia or some shit. But they're like, oh yeah, we get it, we support Black Lives Matter. Ignore all the fucking like horrible things we do in third world countries, but yeah, we're great, we get it, we get the struggle, man. I think that's so cringe. Anyway, yeah, so that's me. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification, and come see you next time. Bye! I'm so bad at doing these.